The liaison, which is said to have ended acrimoniously this month with Mrs Moseley accusing Barger, known as Chemo, of trying to con her out of thousands of pounds, has embroiled the charity in a highly damaging scandal, not least because of its strict no sex with refugees policy. But even that egregious episode appears to be merely the tip of the iceberg. For the Mail can reveal that not only is Barger not a Syrian refugee, but he was married to another British woman at the time of his affair with Mrs Moseley. Actually a Tunisian market stall trader, Barger embarked on an epic journey from his homeland to France's northern coast, taking in day tours to Italy, where he visited his sister, Germany, where he claimed asylum seekers allowance, and Poland, where he worked in a factory. His odyssey sheds a disturbing light on the ease with which economic migrants wanting to reach the UK can pose as refugees to cross borders. Barger's long-suffering British wife Carol Hutchings, who bears a startling resemblance to Claire Moseley, told me this week that she warned both Care4Calais and Mrs Moseley more than a year ago that her cheating husband was tricking them. To sleep with someone 19 years her junior in that situation utterly disgusts me. But of course, Barger was no real refugee. His middle-class family owns a souk in Sousse, the Tunisian resort near where a terrorist gunman shot dead 30 British tourists in 2015. His parents are currently building a large multi-story property in the city. According to his wife Carol, a 54-year-old mother of two from Manchester, he's very ambitious and is happy to use women to get what he wants. Foolishly, I only realized that after I married him. Carol first met Barger in a nightclub in Sousse while she was on holiday in 2009. I wasn't looking for a relationship, she says, but he was charming. I thought he was in love with me. He lied about his age and said he was 10 years older than he was. Looking back, it was all a con, but I was taken in. Carol and Barger stayed in touch via Skype and phone calls and he proposed to her 6 months later. She visited him twice a year, met his mother and twin sister, and they married in March 2014 in a ceremony in French, English, and Arabic at his family home. Carol, who returned to Manchester soon afterwards, considered moving to Tunisia, but after the wedding, she says, Barger became more demanding and frequently asked her for money. He said it was for a visa to come over, she says. At the beginning I'd have moved heaven and earth to get him here, but I told him he needed to sort it out himself. I wasn't sure anymore that I even wanted him to come to England. Barger left Tunisia in September 2014. According to Carol, his parents gave him €3,000, about £2,600, to travel in a fishing boat from Tunis to Palermo in Sicily, where he stayed with his sister for 4 months. He phoned me out of the blue and said, I got out of Tunisia and I did it without you. When he next called in January 2015, he was in Germany. Relationship, Calais charity chief Mrs Moseley, pictured with pop star Will I is said to have had a year-long relationship with the Tunisian migrant. +12. View gallery. Relationship, Calais charity chief Mrs Moseley, pictured with pop star Will I is said to have had a year-long relationship with the Tunisian migrant. He claimed asylum there by saying he was Syrian, she says, but he had a job at a Coca-Cola factory in Poland and he flitted back to Germany each month so he could get his asylum seekers allowance. Carol says Barger left Hamburg in Germany in July 2015, bound for Calais, after the German authorities found out he was Tunisian. Everyone over 16 in Tunisia is fingerprinted, and they were able to match his prints. He arrived in Calais just days after David Cameron was condemned for describing migrants as a swarm of people coming across the Mediterranean, seeking a better life, wanting to come to Britain. Barger even spoke to a Channel 5 news team about his determination to get to the UK. I'm not giving up, he said. Every day I'm trying and keep trying, until I get through. While Barger was hanging out with refugees trying to make their way through the Channel Tunnel, back in the UK, Claire Moseley was taking an increasing interest in the plight of Calais refugees. The daughter of Merseyside folk singer Bob Buckle, she is a former accountant who once worked for large firms including Ernst & Young and Deloitte while regularly carrying out charity work. She was a long-serving Prince's Trust volunteer, providing free advice to start-up businesses on bookkeeping and tax issues. A friend claimed this week that Mrs. Moseley's left-wing instincts were at odds with the corporate environment in which she worked, and that she longed to escape. By Mrs. Moseley's own account, the moment she decided to swap her cozy life in the Merseyside suburb of Heswall.